Hello, welcome to our channel. Today we are discussing about paper and thin layer chromatography. Paper and thin layer chromatography are in the planar chromatography, and we are discussing the classification by the shape. And you know that paper and thin layer is distributed in planar chromatography. Here three major objective words for paper and thin layer chromatography: identification of compound, segregation of compound, and purification of compound. So, friends, you would be aware of this word segregate and aggregate. Segregate means to separate and aggregate means to bring together. So, here segregation means we are separating our components. So, these three very important words when we talking about paper and thin layer chromatography, you remind it. Chromatography. In previous video we are discussing about classification. So you know that from the dimension of stationary phase means by the physical shape of stationary phase we are classified into planar and column. Let's discuss in detail planar chromatography. In planar, two chromatography techniques are there. First thin layer and second paper. Here thin layer or paper, it can be either written as one dimension, whether it is two dimension. This dimension is based on movement of our mobile phase. If our mobile phase is traveling in one dimension, it is called one dimension. And if our mobile phase is traveling in both direction, it's called two dimension. Stationary phase. Here in thin layer, stationary phase can up to two types: solid and liquid coated on solid. When we use solid as a stationary phase, which works on the phenomena of adsorption, and when we use liquid means liquid coated on solid, which works on the phenomena of partition. So in thin layer we using both types of stationary phase during experiment. Let's see what types of material we are using for various experiment. First, silica gel with binder gypsum or starch, which is liquid coated on solid types material. Here silica gel, capital G, comes written on the bottle, and for capital G is stands for gypsum. Okay, so when we do experiment with this, see the bottle first, and nowadays starch also used with silica. As we know, silica is act as a binder, means act as a cement to bind with gypsum or starch. Now as a solid stationary phase, we can use alumina, cellulose powder, acrylamides, charcoal or activated carbon. These solid stationary phase having a positive points. That is, first, all these materials differ in their particle size. Like the particle size value is in up to micron level. So it is doing very important role in separation science. Second, their nature. Their nature ranging from non-polar to mid-polar to polar, and this nature also plays a very important role in our experiment. Here see cellulose powder, which is polar, and charcoal and activated carbon, which is non-polar. And the major point of the stationary phase is it has to be homogeneous. And whether we use stationary phase, it can be apply a very thin layer on the glass or aluminum sheet. So they require a support. So got it? Now mobile phase. Whenever we have TLC, thin layer, and using mobile phase for our experiment, it can be either polar in nature or non-polar in nature. So in non-polar, ethyl ether, petroleum ether, hexane, acetone we can use. And in polar, chloroform, methanol, ammonia, water we can use. Here acetone is in non-polar, but acetone giving a little bit polarity. But we always do comparison between two solvents. Like this is non-polar and this is less non-polar. So we can also says that whenever we compare it like this, it is polar and it is less polar. So it is lesser polar means non-polar and lesser non-polar means polar. Remind it. The one that is more non-polar, so it is less polar, and one which is more polar, it is less non-polar. Experiment. How we can experiment thin layer chromatography? It is a very good experiment. Here you need to prepare a thin layer on a plate. We are using stationary phase as a silica gel with gypsum. First, we are taking some silica gel and making a slurry with water. Slurry means become homogeneous and very smooth. Now see this image. First, we are taking very clean glass plate. Then, we are applying our slurry on it in a uniform way. And after uniform way applying, we need to allowing to dry in oven for 24 to 48 hours. And don't touch the plate, it will be contaminated. Now, how we performing the TLC experiment? Let's see. Using silica gel with gypsum as a stationary phase and as a mobile phase, we can use so many types of solvents like methanol, acetone, acetonitrile, ether, ethyl acetate. So take a dry plate, then place a sample spot on plate. See this. Then place it in a jar containing mobile phase and allow it to run. Mobile phase should not touch initially to the spot, see, but touch our bottom of the plate. After running, our spots are moving at different range. So it is because of phenomena of attraction and affinity towards stationary phase. Here see, from sample, two spots are separated. One is red and second is blue. So from this last image, we can say that if our stationary phase is polar, then red is non-polar in nature and blue is polar in nature. But if our stationary phase is non-polar, then red is polar in nature and blue is non-polar in nature. So blue is move slowly and red is move faster. Got it? Now calculating RF value. RF value is retardation factor. But we are previously discussing about retention time. Retention time is something that our sample requires time to pass one end of the column to another end of the column. But when it is retardation factor, it is distance traveled by our sample from lower to its point where it stops and whole divided by the distance traveled by mobile phase from bottom of the point where it is stopped. So this is always gives us retardation factor, and mobile phase is always travel maximum than our sample. No sample travels more than mobile phase. Now RF value never be greater than 1. Here mobile phase always moves maximum, so it can be never up to 1. The range of RF value is 0 to 1. The ideal value of RF value is 0.25 to 0.75. Some factor also affecting our RF value like temperature, solvent, concentration of our sample, thickness of layer, impurities of sample. If our thickness of layer is not homogeneous, then our sample are not separated very well. Now visualization of TLC. So how can we know what is compounds are separated? Sometimes it is colored, so we can show it, but sometimes it is not showing. So we have different method for visualization. There are so many methods. First, destructive and second, non-destructive. Non-destructive means a TLC plate once visualized can be visualized after and after remain spots such as a while. So in this we can using UV light source. And in UV short and long wavelength we are using. And this is called UV chamber. And there are some spots. Are invisible. And we have to make it visible, and it is not also UV active. So we have to use some destructive method like spraying some dilute H2SO4, spraying ninhydrin or iodine. And when we using this destructive method, we are destroying our original nature of our compound. Because when we spraying, our sample oxidize and visualize the particular color. Ninhydrin is used when we want to visualize amino acid spots, and iodine, it is used several organic reactions. Now, application of thin layer chromatography. First, purity of the sample or analyte. If you have some impurities in your sample, you get two spots. One is your pure sample and another is your impurity. Second, identification of compounds qualitatively. So either your compound is polar, mid-polar or non-polar. You can say that. Third, evaluation of reaction process. It is very important for organic synthesis. Example, aniline they will preparing in acid aniline from aniline they will preparing into acetanilide. So they put a spot of sample and spot of acetanilide and allow it to run, and they compare the product and reactant spot. Sometimes in the middle of reaction they put spot and see the product spot and also little dot of reactant. So we can say that the reaction is not completely done. Okay. 4. Checking the performance of other separation process. We are also checking the other process running or not. Now, our second topic, paper chromatography. After TLC, we are discussing about paper chromatography. In paper, stationary phase is paper, means cellulose. So never say that a piece of paper we using as a stationary phase. Always say we use cellulose as a stationary phase. For mobile phase, we can choose mobile phase, which solvent is doesn't affect your paper. And if you take a solvent which affects the paper and there is nothing to separate, so here mobile phase has to be non-interact to 100% to cellulose, and it can be never do any reaction with our paper. Paper chromatography has divided into three. First, ascending, second, descending, third, circular. Let's see in detail. Capillary direction. In descending chromatography, it is a gravitationally flow. It is flow with gravitational force. Here mobile phase flows up to down and our sample has separated at the bottom of the paper by gravitational force. If someone asks you which technique is better, ascending or descending, so ascending is always better than descending. Third, circular chromatography. In circular, this is a subtype of paper chromatography where a paper is a square shape is kept on a petri dish filled with mobile phase which travels through the paper from the center of the periphery of the circular paper. So see this image. This is circular paper and from square paper, but we draw a circular line or we take also a circular paper. From some distance we put a sample dot here, and then wick is put in the middle of the paper. From wick the mobile phase is running on our paper. In all the directions the sample will run and it gives a very good, precise and accurate result. After some time the sample will be separated, like see this image. The sample will separate it in the so many directions. So by the circular we are putting a 2-3 samples and they are separated. Comparison paper chromatography with thin layer chromatography. Paper is a little bit lesser in values of experiment we compare to thin layer chromatography, and the reason behind this is a paper has several pores, and sometimes the pores absorbs the sample in a little value, and hence less amount of sample moves, so separation is not better. And we have a choice of a different types of stationary phase in TLC, but in paper you haven't any choice. You have to use a cellulose as a stationary phase. In TLC you can use many solvents because silica gel is generally inert towards most of the solvent, but paper is not. So in TLC we are using a wide range of mobile phase, and even when we do experiment, the speed of running of the mobile phase is very fast in TLC, but in paper it took a very long time. So theme these three major points which makes TLC better than paper. Application of paper chromatography. Three are generally most: separation of group inorganic ions, separation of dye and color sample, separation of plant pigment. See, here we think that our ink is black, but not in pure black. If we take a ink spot and running into some time, so many colors are separated. See, and if we are taking a orange ink or orange colored dye, we are thinking it is orange, but if we are running here, put a experiment on it, it will be your red and yellow color will be separated. So we are separating of dye and color sample also. Thank you. If you have any doubts or suggestion, please do comments or DM us on Instagram.